Good morning everybody and welcome to our Thursday morning assembly. Now, I hope you enjoyed the music that we started with yesterday because we're going to choose another track by Kareem Polwart and this one is called King of Birds. It's a lovely piece of music, so to get us in the mood to be calm and quiet and listen well, let's start with another piece of music.
At Ludgate Hill, on the cracked and blackened cobbles of the town, the ashes fall to rest as the tiny king of birds he flutters down to build a citadel to light glory in the dark, and from hell to breathe hope in every heart. Oh, 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 oh. At Ludgate Hill, through the siren screams, the heavens burn again. The city holds its breath as the tiny little king in slumber bed arises from the dust to light glory in the dark, through the frost to breathe hope in every heart. Oh, oh, oh,
That lovely track was called King of Birds. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. Now, yesterday we talked about a very special set of rules, and the set of rules that we talked about were the 10 Commandments. I wonder if there's anybody in your class who can remember the name of the man that God gave the 10 Commandments to. Shall we pause the video so that you can have a think, and if you know the answer, put your hand up and one of your teachers will choose somebody to answer. That's right, it was Moses. Moses was the special man that God chose to give his commandments to, those rules for Christians, to guide them and teach them how to live their lives. Now, before God gave the 10 Commandments to Moses, Moses had some quite strange experiences, and that's what we're going to think about today. We're going to think about miracles and magic, maybe a little bit of magic, and following the right rules in life. And while I'm talking about Moses, I want you to think about the 10 Commandments. I want you to see if you can remember any of them and how they help us to live safe and healthy and peaceful lives. So, Moses was a very special man, and he lived in a place called Midian, and he had a father-in-law called Jethro. So he was married to Jethro's daughter, and Moses led Jethro's flock right to the far side of the wilderness and came to the mountain of God. He was grazing the animals, making sure they'd got plenty of food to eat, plenty to drink. He was looking after them. And while Moses was there, all of a sudden, the angel of the Lord appeared to him in the flames of fire from within inside a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it wasn't burning. There were flames. The bush was hot. It was bright. But the branches and the twigs and the leaves weren't burning at all. So Moses thought, this is most peculiar. I'll go and have a look and see what's going on. This is very strange. Why does that bush not burn although it's on fire? Now when God saw that Moses had gone over to look at the bush, he called to him from within. He called, Moses! Moses! And Moses said, Here I am. Don't come any closer, God said. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. And then he said, I am God, your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And at this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. He was fearful, frightened. He didn't want to look at God. He wasn't sure what was happening. And God was talking to Moses about a special job that he had for him. God had faith in Moses. He trusted Moses. And so God wanted to send Moses to the land of Egypt because there were some people there who were part of the same families, the same group of people that Moses belonged to, and they were living as slaves. They were enslaved by the Egyptians. And God's special plan for Moses was that first of all, Moses was going to lead the slaves out of Egypt. He was going to go to the country, gather them together, free them, and lead them back to the promised land. But first of all, God had to convince Moses that he was the man for the job. So his first appearance, as flames within a bush, startled Moses. It grabbed his attention and it allowed God to share with him his plan. But Moses wasn't sure. He was really worried. He didn't think that he was the man for the job. He was just looking after his father-in-law's flock. So Moses said to God, what if they don't believe me or listen to me and say, the Lord didn't appear to you? And then God said to him, what's that in your hand? And Moses said, it's a staff. A staff is a very long stick that a shepherd has to help him as he's walking along the rough terrain, the rough ground where he's looking after his flock. Might even have a hook on the end to help him grab the sheep or the goats in case they decide to run away, and we call that a crook. But a straight stick without a straight stick without a hook on the end is called a staff. Sometimes it can be used as a weapon as well. So maybe if the wolves or the bears came after the flock at night, or maybe if somebody from a different tribe came to try to steal Moses' flock, he might use his staff as a weapon. So God said, what is that in your hand? And Moses said, it's my staff. And God said, throw it on the ground. So Moses threw his staff on the ground, and as soon as that staff hit the ground, it became a snake. And Moses was terrified. He ran away from it, but God said to him, Moses, reach out your hand, take it by the tail. So Moses reached out and he took hold of the snake, and it turned back into his staff. This is so they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has appeared to you. When Moses thought about the amazing ways in which God had appeared to him, he decided that he should do what God wanted. He needed to do what God asked him to do. He was chosen to do a special job. And when God trusted Moses, he had faith in himself as well. He understood that he could go and do the special job that God wanted him to do. So Moses did go to Egypt. He did find all the Israelites who were being held as slaves. He did free them, and he did lead them back to the promised land. And it was when they got to the promised land that God decided to give Moses the 10 Commandments, the rules, to help everybody live in a healthy and a happy and a peaceful way. Sometimes it's hard to live by rules. Sometimes it's hard to remember that rules are there to keep us safe. Sometimes we think that rules are just made so that we have to be told what to do or just to be mean to us. And I'm sure over the last few months, while you've had to stay at home, you've had to not mix with your friends, that there have been times where you felt that that was unfair or unjust, and you've wanted to break those rules. And I'm sure that there have been times where you've had to be reminded that actually those rules are to keep everybody safe, to keep everybody happy, and to keep everybody healthy, most importantly at the moment. Moses experienced a vision of God coming to see him in a burning bush, turning his staff into a snake and then back into a staff again. And there are many things in this amazing world that we can't explain. Some are wonderful things. There are also dreadful things. But today, I'd like you to try to see God in the goodness of the world. And I'd ask you to try to have faith, to trust in God that he will see us through difficult times and through sad times. Let's end our assembly with a prayer today. Let's put our hands together and close our eyes. Dear Lord, help me to trust. Help me to trust my friends, my family, and help me to put my trust in you. Let me see your goodness in the beauty of the world and the goodness of my family and friends who surround me. Help me to question so that I make careful, good choices in my life. Help me to have an open heart that is happy to celebrate your love and trust in your health and support when my life is sad and worried and confused. We ask all of this in your name. Amen. Well done everybody for good listening. I hope that you enjoyed the stories of how God appeared to Moses. And I'll see you tomorrow for our Good News Assembly. Have a great day of learning. Bye bye everybody.